Friday, 12:03 a.m.
You up?
I'm up.
You wanna come out for a last one at La Cueve?
La Cuevita was one of our regular bars, recently renamed from the English, Little Cave, to the Spanish, potentially to make it seem more authentically Mexican. It wasn't authentically anything, really, but it was cave-like, to be sure. The ceilings were low and the rooms were dark, and what lighting there was red. I liked red bars. I looked good in pictures in red light. I jabbed at my keyboard erratically, so Ezra would see that enigmatic ellipsis, ... appear in our message chain. Then I deleted the random letters I'd typed and closed the app, so the ellipsis would disappear. So he'd known I'd seen it and thought about responding, but then didn't, just to give him a little scare. Even though he'd apologized, I couldn't get over being a little miffed with him. It was a bad weekend for both of us, and I had expected to spend every hour in his company, at bright brunch tables or in dark movie theaters, sharing plates of French fries and sitting in companionable silence when we ran out of things to say to each other. I had imagined the moment he would start telling me some story of our shared past.
Do you remember when we drove out to the Rose Bowl and it was suddenly raining?
Trailing off as we both remembered the moment and who had been with us at the time. Our other best friend, Miguel. 1 year ago, on this same weekend, he'd hanged himself in a hotel room in Palm Springs. That day at the Rose Bowl, Miguel had pulled us both out of the car and into the rain, expecting a movie-like moment. But all LA rain is actually drizzle, and the only thing that happened was that our hair got really frizzy, and that story is actually a story of nothing, and it's only worth telling because I will never see Miggy's hair get frizzy again. On this weekend, of all weekends, Ezra was supposed to spend time with me, and instead he agreed to go to the desert with somebody else. And yes, Nosley was our other best friend, and yes, she had suffered/was suffering the loss of Miggy alongside us. But she wasn't a twin. Maybe it was racist for me to think that, because she was Iranian and Ezra and I were white. Ezra's grandfather, who had survived a concentration camp with a name I can't pronounce, not Auschwitz, would say that Ezra was Jewish, not white. But we knew that wasn't true because we had always been considered white. But I wasn't talking about appearance. I was talking about the emotional experience of being linked together. And even though I'd known Nosley forever and loved her, and even though Ezra had dated Nosley forever and loved her, she was not linked to us in that nearly biological way. I put off answering Ezra's text again and opened my text chain with Miguel. Miggy. Yesterday. I know it's harder for him than it is for me, but that doesn't mean I'm not hurt that he ran off to the desert.
You have to let him deal with his grief in his own way.
I don't want that. I want him to deal with his grief in LA with me. Today, 12:07 a.m. If you were me and you were mad at your only living best friend for abandoning you, and you were very snug in your nice bed, would you get up just to keep Ezra company? I hit send and glanced back at the television screen. In the show, a lady detective who had a very dykey way of dressing was kissing a doctor guy who was so bland in his handsomeness that I'd never recognized the actor in a coffee shop, even though I'd seen every episode of his show. Seen and loved every episode of his show. I love the way formulaic cop dramas allow me to blank out, the way people must feel when they're really good at meditating. I know a few people who stopped watching all cop shows around the time Black Lives Matter was really picking up steam, because they don't want to watch anything that casts cops as heroes or glorifies the justice system. And I get that.